through 21 to close out the book now. These chapters showcase that tolerating and ignoring sin doesn't make it go away. In chapter 19, a husband and his mistress, this woman, are staying at an old man's house. That night, gang members knock on the old man's door and demand the old man to bring out this male guest. This guy staying in his house. They want to gang rape the old man's guest, this guy. Now the old man says to the gang, "Do not act wickedly to my male guest." Ancient hospitality, a host is to protect his guest in every situation. So that's exactly what the old man is doing. He's protecting his male guest. So the old man offers his virgin daughter to the gang. But the gang doesn't want the virgin daughter. They want the male guest staying in his house. The male guest, the guy comes out to meet the gang. And the male guest says, "Hey, here's my mistress." So he offers up his mistress to the gang. Let me be clear. This guy offers up his mistress to the gang. And the old man and the male guest did not protect her. In fact, they gave her to the gang so that she was raped and abused all night. In the morning, it says the male guest opens the door and his mistress is lying at the doorway on the floor. So while the old man and this male guest slept comfortably, she was violated and left for dead at the doorway. Instead of the male being violated, because apparently that would be gay, offer up a woman so at least it's heterosexual sex, right? No. If you're reading your Bible like that, then you're reading your Bible wrong. God determined the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah way before Genesis 19. If you read Genesis 18, it was for sins already committed. Sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was mainly social injustice rather than sexual perversion. And I know that because I read my Bible, and that's what Ezekiel 16:49 tells us. It's literally in the footnotes of Ezekiel. I'm not making this up. I just read my Bible. So in this story, Judges 19, these men were clearly degenerate. They were wicked. They were troublemakers. Their motive wasn't homosexually driven. And we know that because they raped this woman. They just wanted trouble, and it didn't matter if it was the male guest or his mistress. In fact, chapter 20, in verse 5, they intended to kill him. So we know that their motive was just plain wickedness. That's how you have to read these stories. Just read your Bible, guys. Both the old man and his male guest did nothing to protect this woman. Instead, slept through the night to find her in the morning, laying at the doorway like a dog. The male guest, that guy, didn't protect his mistress. He literally gave a defenseless woman to be brutally violated all through the night. Somehow, he was upset. He was infuriated that she was violated. What? Doesn't make any sense. He wants to send a message to all the tribes of Israel that what happened to this woman was wrong. So what did he do? He cut her into 12 pieces and he sent body parts to each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And by doing that, his intention was to wake up the Israelites. They needed to wake up from their immorality. He thought it was lewd and disgraceful what that gang did to her. So I'm going to chop her up and send her to all the 12 tribes of Israel to show that they're morally deprived. Instead of the 12 tribes being concerned about, hey, who dismembered this woman's body, they're more concerned about what that gang did to her, violating her, which both are wrong. In chapter 20, they want justice for the woman who was violated. But there was no justice and a civil war broke out. Now, by the end of the book, chapter 21, this is the end of the book. The book ends with, in those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Go back into your Bible, highlight this verse whenever you see a highlighted verse on your screen. What's important here is it's to remind the reader that because they don't have a king, Everyone is doing what they think is right. And I'm going to take that play on theology. If Jesus is not the king of your life, you will do what you believe is right. And I don't want you to fall into that trap. I think the King of Kings, Jesus Christ, should be the Lord and King of your life. And only through Jesus can we be made righteous when we put our trust in Jesus.